They're not getting any feed though.
Share is off at the moment.
Mercy, continue with conflict.
Oh, okay. I was saying that when we look at element of conflict in the tragedy, that is Shakespearean tragedy, we realize that the one that we see most is the external conflict, in the sense that it is through this external conflict that we have the or we get the internal conflict. One example or clear instance is the conflict that existed between Iago, Cassio, and then Rodrigo fighting against Othello, and then Iago at the same time fighting against Cassio and then Othello, where Iago supposed to be like he is the one rather helping Othello, but without the knowledge of Othello knowing that Iago was taking a revenge of him, trying to bring his downfall. And then also he's now pained because he was supposed to be giving the position of the lieutenant to him. That is how he believes, but was given to um Cassio, Michael Cassio, which he tends to fight against both of them. And then another instance is the conflict that existed between Rodrigo and then Othello. Now, Rodrigo loves Desmona, and he has been trying to make love advancement towards her, but she is not interested in him. So Rodrigo seeing to it that Othello is winning the love and the love that he has for Desmona by his rather channel to Othello. He tries to fight him by getting Iago involved and then trying to strategize plan for Brabantio to be involved to stand against this relationship that is going to exist between Desmona and Othello. And surely they won, because when Brabantio heard of it, he came to say that it is Othello who had spilled a magic against his daughter for her to love him, where Othello had to face the council to explain to him to explain to them how he was able to win the love of Desdemona by narrating the sad story and the strange things that he went through. And then Desdemona stating that he wished she could get a man who can tell her that story, meaning she wants Othello by for herself. And that is where I can end now.
Okay, you've done well, but please, can you take your time and give us a clear analysis of maybe conflict between this and this one, and what exactly brought about the conflict? Is my point clear? When you take maybe two characters, maybe this was how they existed and lived to conflict one another, and the conflict came about as a result of this and this. If you can analyze them in terms of, I mean, the pace, I
Okay,
think it's
so the first conflict existed between Othello and then Iago. The issue is that Iago is the ancient in the army. And then when we say ancient is the one just after the lieutenant, meaning lieutenant is higher than the position of the ancient in the army. And then Othello is the general. And then when we say the general, he is the overall boss, the highest rank in the army. So now that he has been made a general in the army, he is supposed to select a lieutenant, and the lieutenant has to come after the general. So according to the knowledge of Iago, Iago was expecting that Othello will choose him as the lieutenant, but rather Othello chose Michael Cassio, where Iago tend to take revenge of that for taking such vulnerable position from him and then giving it to a foreigner. That is where we see the conflict existing between Iago and then Othello. Another instance of conflict existed between Rodrigo and then Othello. Now, Rodrigo is in love with Othello. Sorry, Desdemona. And then now he has realized that his love is not even seen or recognized since there is another person in the picture. And this person is in the person of Othello. Because of his story that he narrated to Desdemona, the strange things that he went through, and then how come he has been able or rise to the position that he is now. Out of that, Desdemona loved him or they fell in love with him. So Rodrigo, in order to jeopardize this relationship or bring it to a stay, he has to get someone to help him to win the heart of Desdemona. And this person is Iago. Since Iago wants to take revenge of Othello because of the first reason I stated, he also joined Rodrigo by making Brabantio, who is the father of Desdemona, to believe that Othello has detained the daughter, and then the father has to come in. Per their plan, they were able to win in the sense that Brabantio came in and then never accepted or defended that relationship that he wants them to be in a relationship. So there is a conflict between the father and the son, where Desdemona chose Othello over his father, because the father believed that it is Othello who had cast spells on the daughter. So Othello had to stand before the entire council to explain to them how he was able to win the love of Desdemona. Please, is it understood?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
And
what what
another
what, what
instance is Cassio and then Iago. Now, we realize that there is this handkerchief which symbolize something according to Othello. Then the handkerchief was given to him by the mother. So he has given it to the love of his life. Out of their love making or their romance, the handkerchief fell, seen by Emilia, who is the wife of Iago. As a faithful wife, when he had hold of the handkerchief, he took it back and then gave it to her husband, who is in the person of Iago. And then Iago, it helped the handkerchief that was given to him, help him to plot against Cassio, because already he has told Othello that Iago and then Desdemona are into an affair, a secret affair.
That's
So he's going to, Desdemona and Cassio is in a relationship, a secret one. So he is going to prove to Othello that indeed what he has told him is true. Now, the handkerchief coming in had helped him to prove to Othello that what he said wasn't a lie. So he used that handkerchief and went to Cassio's chamber, hid it there. The next day, Cassio discovered the handkerchief in his chamber and then also gave it to his girlfriend. Now, Cassio had now hold the handkerchief. Iago has what? Win. Because Othello also saw that he was giving the handkerchief to his girlfriend and then believe what Iago told him. So that is another instance of what conflict that existed, which led to the death of Desdemona, where Othello believed that Desdemona had been unfaithful to him by sleeping around because Iago told him that Cassio laid with her, meaning they slept together. Thank you.
So the handkerchief.
I'm back. I'm back.
Thank you.
I'm back now.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
I like the discussions. I think I got a problem with my network, so I have to fix it. So thank you very much. I've come and I followed our sister, trying to give us a background to some of the instances of conflicts in the play. That's very good of you. So we continue on because we come to the main discussions. Now we are just trying to look at the elements of Shakespearean tragedy. So we have done with the conflict. There is also the element of supernatural. So when we say supernatural, we are talking about forces that is beyond the natural control, so human control. So in some Shakespearean or most Shakespearean tragedies, you always find this element of ghosts, this element of witches, and so on. So you can find some in Hamlet. You can find some. You can find some witches in Macbeth. You can find some supernatural occurrences in Julius Caesar and others. So supernatural plays a significant role in most Shakespearean tragedies. And once we are reading Shakespearean tragedy, we will have to also look out for those supernatural elements that also actually help to prepare the plot or to advance the plot in that sense. So supernatural is a very important element. Let's go faster because we want to go and look at the main things there. The catharsis is also another. I mentioned catharsis already, that in Shakespearean comedy, tragedy, there is always an element of catharsis. There is a point where there is a arousal of fear and pity in the audience. The audience will feel pity and fear, or have some fear for the hero when he's undergoing certain hardship, certain difficulties within the course of the plot. So we will see a lot of these tears flowing from the audience. Some of the audience will be sad and so on and so forth. And that is what we call the catharsis. But the catharsis is staged at the end of the play. So we get that when we see Othello dies, but the consequences of it and the rest of it, the deaths, will get some kind of solace. And that is what we call the lack of supernatural, sorry, the catharsis. The catharsis always is fed by the audience. So that's what we call the arousal of fear and pity. So when the hero is undergoing certain difficulties, certain headaches, and then we, the audience, feel sad, we feel some fear for the hero, and so on. So that is another element that Shakespeare always put into the tragedy. Then there is the element of lack of poetic justice. Lack of poetic justice. When I say poetic justice, it is simply saying that good is rewarded with good and evil is rewarded with evil. So that is the opposite of what we see in Shakespearean tragedies. So when we say lack of poetic justice, it means that the good person is rewarded with bad, and then rather the bad person always sometimes go unpunished. That gives a sense of a poetic lack of poetic justice. So if you take a play like King Lear, the daughter Cordelia, who tried to save the king, is rather killed. So Cordelia's death now becomes shows the example of what we call lack of poetic justice. If there is poetic justice, then Cordelia, who saved the king or Queen Lear, should have lived. Then it would have been that Cordelia, who is a good daughter, she has been saved at the end of the play. So most often in Shakespearean tragedies, there is lack of poetic justice, where people who commit evil are mostly, some, in most occasions, are spared. Their lives are spared, whilst the good person, who should rather be rewarded with goodness or something good, is rather punished at the end of the play. So there are examples in Hamlet, there are examples in Julius Caesar, and then we'll look at Othello. So we are just discussing because we don't want to mention Othello, we'll come to that one proper. Then Shakespeare also introduced an element, what he called a comic relief. But somebody will say, why comic relief in a tragedy? Well, comic relief brings about humor, laughter. Generally, Shakespeare feels that if the tension is so much tense from the beginning to the end, it will make the play to become something which is so much fearful, and people will not like the play in such form. So, at a point in the conflict, he introduces what he called comic relief. This point, a humorous incident occurs, which makes even the audience to laugh or to feel some at ease. So, in fact, in Shakespearean comedy, tragedy, the comic relief actually reduces the tension that is piled up, leading to the climax. So, with the comic relief, some form of humorous scene is created to allow some kind of reduction of the tension that is piling up because of the tense nature of the action. So he introduced characters like what he calls the fool, who brings in some kind of dialogue or an action that will make everybody feel at ease or not feel so much tensed up. So the tension is reduced through those humorous scenes. So Shakespeare thinks that the tragedy must always not be in a form of a tension. There must be some actions that reduces the tension before the resolution of the conflict. So that is what Shakespeare used in his play, comic relief. So these are the key elements that Shakespeare makes use of, or the characteristics you can identify with Shakespearean tragedies. Hello. Okay, I'm on board. Okay. But my network went again. So that is what we're looking at. But we now
Sir,
want to. Yeah, any question? You want to ask?
yes. Does Shakespeare share the same view with Aristotle on that ground of comic relief?
So let's see. Where do you have any comic relief in the Aristotelian tragedies or classical tragedies? Should the play have some incidents of humor at a point of the tension in the plot? Of course,
Yeah.
you see that. Do you have anything? You read Antigone, but we did you see anything like that in Dear Blood, which is an adaptation of Antigone? Was there any point in the plot where the tension is reduced with the introduction of a comic relief?
Can't say for sure, but when Olumide died, the people rejoiced in a way.
When who dies?
Olumide.
You're talking about dear blood, not death and the king's horseman.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you are veer into tragic comedy.
Okay.
We are talking about a classical example of a Aristotelian tragedy, generally by Sophocles, Euripides, and then Achilles. So this typical tragic do not involve any comic element. So the classical playwrights, they will not accept any form of comedy in that kind of play. So in classical tragedy, so this is one of the key difference between Shakespearean tragedies and then Aristotelian tragedy. The introduction of comic relief by Shakespeare is a new introduction to tragedy. That's very important. So I think we are moving ahead to look at the differences between the Shakespearean or Elizabethan tragedies and then the Aristotelian tragedy or the classical tragedies. So we will see which of these areas the two merges as one. Because some of the things, they go through each of them. So there are certain commonalities. The social status of the hero, for example.
Please, sorry to interject.
Yeah.
I raised my hand, but then it's like you couldn't see my hand.
Okay, let me see.
Okay, I wanted to contribute to the question, my brother's question, and also ask my question. I wanted to say that even in your explanation, Shakespeare introduced the comic relief to bring about humor and laughter in the play, so that it will not let the audience to be boredom throughout the play, to get that kind of some source of entertainment to keep them awake throughout the play. So Shakespeareans had that, but the Greek or the classical tragedies, they don't have that. Then
that's it.
Then that's my question. Please, when you look at conflict as one of the major characteristics of Shakespearean tragedies, we have two types of conflict. And the conflict usually brings about the tragic flaw or the mistakes of the tragic hero. So please, I want to find out which of the conflict is the main cause of the tragic flaw of the tragic hero. Thank you.
They all contribute to the tragic flaw. In fact, the internal conflict is the one that the hero harbors within himself. Indecision, what decisions should take. So the internal conflict plays a role, whilst the external conflict also plays a role. So the two types of conflict, they all play a role in the downfall of the hero. Yes, the external conflict can be even the supernatural forces working against the hero. So, for example, if you read the gods are not to blame, you could see how the gods, that is the somehow external conflict within, they have some kind of powers working against the person of Odewale, and this all compounded with Odewale's own quick-temperedness, impatience, led him to kill the man he met in the farm, who happens to be the biological father. So in this situation, we can say that the conflict is not only the only conflict that leads to the tragedy is not only the external. The internal conflict also play a huge role, because the character's own indecision and then things that he struggled to work with within himself also leads to the downfall. So both external and internal conflicts come together to bring the downfall of the hero. Yes. So the social status of the hero According to Aristotle, the hero must be a royal, but we see some variation in Shakespeare. What is the variation? Shakespeare varies it a bit. He accepts the hero as the king or the royal, but in addition, Shakespeare added certain other personalities who also qualifies to become heroes. What personalities did Shakespeare also recommend can be heroes? Is anybody to answer?
Yes, please. Shakespeare also recommends that a hero can be a military person or in the army or
Okay, a general in the army,
yes.
a very important personality in the society. Yeah. So, whilst Aristotelian prescription is that the hero must necessarily come from the royal home, must be a royal. Shakespeare includes personalities like military men and then other very important personalities who are in the society. You can also include them. We are not talking about Atamila, but Atamila will say that even an ordinary person can be a hero. So Atamila is not in favor of Shakespeare and then Aristotle. So though Shakespeare did not go against who should be a hero, he only added to the prescription of Aristotle, which is that the hero must be a royal or must come from a royal lineage. But according to Shakespeare, generals in the army or very important personalities can also become a hero. So if you look at Romeo and Juliet are not from the royal family, but because of their status in the society, their family's status in the society, these two personalities are made heroes. Yeah, so we see Julius Caesar is not from a royal lineage, but he is made a hero. Macbeth and the rest, they are generals in the army who also qualifies to be heroes in this Shakespearean play. Okay. So we move on to look at another element where we can look at the destiny versus character. So it appears that in Shakespearean tragedy, we have the fate playing a role. Fate playing a role, but it appears that in Aristotle, there is no fate does not play a role. Yeah. So if you see that one, you can analyze it. So destiny has something to do with what happens to the hero. So the flaw is not only identified with the character's downfall. Fate can also influence the downfall of the hero. So that is another point we need to take note of. Then we have the greatest diversion or departure of Aristotle and then Shakespeare. That's the three unities, the existence of the three unities. So I also want to explain the three unities, how it applies in the Aristotelian tragedy, and whether or not it applies in Shakespearean tragedy. The three unities. We have dealt with that in the last meeting. So Sandra. Sandra is not going to talk. Obed. Okay, Vincent, are you there?
Yes, I'm
Okay.
here. I'm here.
I want you to explain the three unities as it is in Aristotelian tragedy, and whether or not Shakespeare makes use of it, and if not, how is it found? What is it in the Shakespearean tragedy?
Okay. You know, Aristotle and those classical writers believe that they believe in three unities. That's the unity of place, unity of time, and unity of action. So they believe that unity of place, that an action must take place in a single location. So unlike Shakespeare, where you can have a particular story that action takes place in different locations. So Aristotle say that the unity of place must take place in a single location, and the unity of time. They also believe that the action must take place in maybe in a single day, no moving to the next day, or maybe it takes a long time. And then the action. So when we look at it, in the case of Othello, as a matter of fact, I did not take time to to study where the action, whether the action took place in different locations in the case of Othello. So maybe my attention is drawn to that, so I'll have to go and check that. So I think this is a little explanation I can
Okay,
give, sir.
Asantua, you can continue.
Okay, sir. With regards to Shakespeare, he didn't follow the unity of time, unity of place, and the unity of action, because we could see that one of the actions took place in Venice, others in Florence, and the rest. So you could see that it didn't follow this one. And then the play, you could see that it didn't take place, the time didn't take place within just 24 hours. It was, some of them were even 1 year, 2 years, and the others. So it bleached
Asanto,
the
I
rule
hope
of,
you are making in reference to Othello, right?
Yes.
yes.
Okay.
Mhm. So it didn't follow this the three unities as proposed by the classical people.
Okay.
So it means
The
that
unity of action is not clear.
it means that the major divergence between Aristotle and Shakespeare is on the three unities. Here, they completely disagree. So Shakespeare introduces his own deviation of the three unities by allowing multiple scenes, multiple locations, by allowing the action to take place in more than a day, and then also the action can be multiple. It can be you can have a main plot, you can have the subplot. So that is what we're talking about. So the greatest diversion from Aristotelian tragedy, Shakespeare completely violates the three unities that Aristotle introduced. So that is the main point where you can look at it from. Then let's move on to look at, I think we'll be just going to look at the key things very briefly. Number of characters. It appears that in Greek tragedies, the number of characters are minimal, is very reduced in the number. But in Shakespearean tragedies, the number of characters are many. So that's another difference between Shakespeare and then Aristotle regarding tragedy. So Aristotle's characters, Aristotle recommends that the characters should be few, or then the Shakespeare uses a lot of characters. So that is another difference. So you can compare the number of characters used in the Dear Blood, the number of characters used in Antigone, and then you compare it to the number of characters that we have in Othello, Julius Caesar, Macbeth, and the rest. So that is another key difference between Shakespeare and Aristotle or the Greek plays. Then the presence of the chorus. So is there any aspect of the Shakespearean tragedy where the chorus play a part? I think you could see clearly that the chorus do not play a part in the Shakespearean tragedies. But in the Aristotelian tragedies, the chorus is an integral part of it because Aristotle even includes the chorus as one of the main parts of the tragedy. But in Shakespearean tragedy, the chorus as it is in the Aristotelian tragedy is not found there. So there is also another divergence views of Shakespeare and Aristotle. Then the role of female characters. It appears Aristotle's recommendation is that a female character's role is minimal. The female character role is minimized to a certain level. Women cannot play certain roles in Aristotelian tragedies. But when it comes to Shakespearean tragedies, even the female can be a hero, a heroine. That is, if you take Romeo and Juliet, you can get that one there. But not to say that you will not get any female playing a hero's role or a significant role in Aristotle's or Greek tragedies. We read Antigone. Antigone, the female character is a heroine. So, but the main thing is that the discrimination against women in the Greek plays is more than the discrimination against women in the Aristotelian play. Yeah, so that's the only difference. So some of during the period, for example, maybe female characters may not be even allowed on the stage. At a point in the Greek history, they will not allow female characters to perform on the stage. That is why there is a limitation to how many women can play a role in the play. Okay, so that's the other point of divergence. Okay, let's move on to the comic relief. I think we said that comic relief is one of the new introductions to tragedy by Shakespeare. As in Greek tragedy, the chorus is present. Singing and dancing may provide relief for the audience, but there is actually, the chorus is not actually for creating some humor. No, it is to just to get the play, the plot to move. So that's why he introduced the chorus. So if you see the chorus, music and other things, it is not for to create humor. But in Shakespearean tragedies, the comic relief is introduced to create humor. And normally it is acted by a character Shakespeare refers to as the fool. So this character provides relief to the audience when the tension is so high within the course of the play. So that's an important part of the difference. So there's a presence of comic relief in Shakespearean tragedies, whereas in the Aristotelian tragedy or the Greek tragedies or the classical tragedies, there is no comic relief, though there is a chorus. The chorus does not need humor. Unlike in Shakespearean tragedy, the chorus, sorry, the fool, which plays that role, creates humor and laughter for the purpose of reducing the tension due to the conflict. Yeah. So that is it. We go ahead to look at background to the play, Othello. The third play is the Othello, the Moor of Venice. So this play too is set in Italy. So most of these Shakespearean plays, their main setting is Italy. So Italian settings are used for almost all the Shakespearean plays. So Othello, the Moor of Venice, is a very remarkable play, a tragic play, one of the most important ones. So that's why we are maybe using it to do the discussion on tragedy. So it has 5 acts. So those who were able to finish reading the play, it has 5 acts. The 5 acts Act 1, Act 2, Act 3, Act 4, Act 5. So that is the standard for all Shakespearean plays. They all are categorized into five acts, and then a number of scenes under each act. Yes, so the play is about the character who will take as the hero, Othello. Othello, a heroic black general in the service of Venice, and who appoints Cassio no Iago as his chief lieutenant. So, as a result of jealousy of Othello's success and envious of Cassio, Iago plots Othello's downfall. So, this is the beginning of the conflict. That's an external conflict between Iago and then Othello. So, Iago forcefully implicates Othello's wife, Desdemona, and Cassio in a love affair. This kind of mistaken identity and then deceit and all that, they all contributed to that. With the unwitting aid of Emilia, his wife, and the willing of help of the Rodrigo, with a fellow, Iago carries out his plan. So the conflict generally centers on Iago and then Othello. And you will see the consequences of this. So the handkerchief belonging to Desdemona and found by Emilia. This is one of the disguises that we use in this Shakespearean plays, which result into a deeper conflict or actually intensifies the conflict. So Iago persuades Othello that Desdemona has given the handkerchief to Cassio as a love token, and this is what we call the hamartia. So the deception here, which Othello could not read into, and this will result into his taking a step. Yeah. So Iago induced Othello to eavesdrop on the conversation between himself and then Cassio, in the fact that Cassio mistress Bianca, but which Othello is led to believe on sense of Cassio's infatuation with Desdemona. So definitely the conflict will rise because of the deception. This deception could have been read well, which will not result into the calamity or the catastrophe that we experience in the course of the play. So the jealousy overtakes Othello, and that pushes Othello to kill Desdemona. Hmm. So it means that it is always good to be patient, to always exercise patience and then take certain things into consideration before taking any action in life. And that is definitely what worked against Othello. So when he returned from Emilia too late, that his wife is blameless, then he now saw that he has committed a mistake. So that's the hamartia we talk about in Othello's character. He did not take his time to actually investigate and get the truth of whatever is being said. And he goes ahead to carry out this heinous crime that also makes his position very bad. Okay. So we go act by act. So at one, somebody to tell us about what the at one is talking about. Those of you using your slides, you can go to, I think, slide 28. You have at one there summarized. But let's know what occur in at one, what occur in at two, what occur in Act 3. We are just going through the plot. Then after that, we do the main discussion on the theme, the characters, the literary elements, and so on. So Act 1, what takes place in Act 1? Who is taking the first?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Vincent, what happened in Act 1?
I actually, I just want to find out something.
Yeah.
This man Othello, is he a black man?
Yeah.
So
He's a
Yeah,
black man.
he is a Moor. He's a Moor.
Yeah, it's a
Black man.
Moor, so that's
Yeah.
why you call them.
okay, black man is called More, right?
Yeah, in those days.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I think he was a slave. He was a slave.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's it.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, who summarized at one for us? Some people are not. Let me call back. Let me go by the names. Who is using the name Great Peters or?
So I'll read from the book.
You said.
I'll read from the book.
Salah.
So let me try.
Okay, Millicent.
The Act 1 introduces some of the characters to us. That is where we get to know Iago and then Rodrigo. Then the first scene, these two people have a conversation on planning against Othello. And then Rodrigo trying to also Rodrigo also upset about Desdemona not being able to be by his side. Then, this scene also introduces Brabantio, who happens to be Desdemona's father. So over here to Iago, and then Rodrigo also goes to inform Brabantio about the secret marriage that happened between Othello and Desdemona, which makes him very angry, and then set out to meet Othello. This scene also introduces when Cassio and then the other soldiers also goes to inform Othello about a Turkish attack from Cyprus, which demanded his presence before the Duke. So that is where they all go to. We all see them going to the Duke's court, where Othello is asked to defend himself against the accusations made by Brabantio. Thank you.
Very good. That's good. So you see that the Act 1 set the plot moving. So that is the exposition. So the exposition, we are introduced to the main characters, we are introduced to the main conflict, we are introduced to the various settings, the key settings of the play. So the characters that we will come across, the major issue at play, they all come into the Act 1. So let's go to Act 2. Someone to take the Act 2 for us. Act 2. What does Act 2 tell us? Does it tell us? Now the settings switches to Cyprus. So here you see the Aristotle's three-unity is broken. So once the setting moves from one location to a different location, there is a deviation from Aristotle's prescription that the setting must be a single setting. So Shakespeare uses multiple settings. So we move away from Venice to Cyprus. So what happened at Cyprus? Who is taking that one for us? We have Salah Abdullah, Francisca Eku, Millicent just spoke. So Act 2, who is summarizing Act 2 for us?
Okay,
Gifty. Yeah, somebody want to speak.
It's Millicent, please.
Hey, Millicent again. Okay.
So the Act 2 also introduces the plots from the side of Iago. Over there, that is where he decided to make Othello believe that Desdemona is having an affair with Cassio. And that is where he also plots against Cassio so that his position as the lieutenant will be taken from him, away from him. So he makes Cassio drink alcohol, even though he wasn't ready for that. He persuaded him to take in alcohol, which led Cassio into a fight. Then when Othello gets to know of it, he decides to take the position from him. Then this scene also introduces where Iago manipulates Othello into by convincing him to believe that Desdemona and Cassio are also involved in an affair.
Good. So, as I said, we are introduced to the scene in Cyprus. Here, Montano, the governor of the Cyprus, and his soldiers, they greet Cassio, Iago, Desdemona, Emilia as they disembark from the ship. So Othello soon arrives with news that storms at the sea have dispersed the Turkish fleet. And in the night of celebration, they were very happy. Now Rodrigo confesses doubt about his potential to woo Desdemona, but Iago assures him that there is hope. He uses the Rodrigo to challenge Cassio to duel that night. Now, Aego claims Desdemona is falling in love with him. This deception. So when the night comes, Aego gets Cassio drunk. Rodrigo incites his anger. And Montano, the governor, is stabbed during his attempt to contain Cassio. Now the fight upsets, and then he blames Cassio, stripping him of his recently conferred offer status. So the conflict intensifies, begins to rise from this point of the play. That's Act 2. Now we move on to Act 3. That is the next day. We get to know that Ego convinces Cassius to ask Desdemona for help in regaining his post. So when Cassio asks Desdemona innocently about this, Desdemona agrees, and Iago has sown seed of jealousy in Othello's mind. So this way the conflict is intensifying. So he's suggesting that Desdemona is fond of Cassio in trying to make Othello rise or be against the wife, Desdemona. So with no reason to suspect Iago of bad intention, Othello begins to watch his wife. So here Othello becomes angry when Desdemona cannot find the first gift. So the conflict actually is rising higher and higher. Here we know that Desdemona had not lost the handkerchief. We also know that Ego had instructed Emilia, his wife, to take it. And then Ego then laid the handkerchief where Cassio would find it. Yes, so definitely when Desdemona urges her husband to reconsider Cassio's demotion, Othello gets jealous and suspects her of infidelity. So that is where Othello did not get it right. And this made him take that action of killing Desdemona. At four, I did at 3. So the next person should do at 4. Who is doing at 4 for us? Sims. Abunjua. Sims, are you there? Oh, if you have not finished the reading, you are not able to contribute. Any other person? Gloria. You have Gloria, Ajiwa, Gloria, Ajemai. We have Latifa. We have Linda. Linda, we are Linda, 2 Lindas. Linda Dutachi. Linda. Oh, they all don't want to talk. If you don't talk, the time is 4 hours or something. We are going to be tired. You have to be talking, not only Millicent, Vincent, Asantua. These are the only people talking. We are taking note of those who are contributing to the discussion. Okay, so I'll do the continuation from Act 4. Here, Ego continues to inflame this jealousy, and then Othello, he encouraged Othello to listen in and then interpret part of the conversation between Cassio and his mistress. So definitely, Othello agitation at what he hears brings him to make some kind of take some decision that is very bad. So after recovering He orders Iago to kill Cassio. Desdemona cannot understand Othello's change of attitude. So Othello even strikes her in the presence of a relative, Lodovico, who has arrived as an ambassador from Venice. So as she prepares for bed, she talks with Emilia, singing to relieve the mistress she feels at losing the trust of her husband. So Desdemona is killed by Othello. Then the last act is Act 5. So Act 5, Rodrigo began to suspect Iago, and then Iago persuades him to attack Cassio. In the fight that ensues, Iago goes undetected and wounds Cassio. So here he then enters again as himself to accuse and kill Rodrigo for the act of wounding Cassio. Yeah, so the play ends with Cassio reinstated and placed in command as governor of Cyprus. So that is the end of the play. Now, when we will move on to the next part of the discussion, we're looking at the themes that are explored or that Shakespeare brings to us from the play. So we'll be looking at the themes, we'll be looking at the characters, we'll be looking at the generally the literary techniques employed in the play. So that is the rest of the discussion, what is going to center on. Good. So there are several themes that we can draw from the tragedy. The first one is the theme of love. Is it possible to have the theme of love in a tragic play? What kind of love are we talking about? So you take the theme and then you give us instances of this theme, how this theme reflects in the story or in the plot. So you pick the theme of love. Let us know this love is between who and who, and then how did this love develop? What was the consequences of the love from the plot? So we are going one after the other. The first one is the theme of love. Anybody to take that one? So this one I will not talk. I will just listen, and then when you end, we will all complete it. So let's start with Nancy Sewa. Nancy, are you there? Nancy, you are there. Oh, you just joined and then left. Okay, let me see another person. Salome. Salome, can you speak? Oh, are you sure they are online or they are not online? They are here. Yvonne Akun. Yvonne. Okay, so I just give it to anyone who wants to speak. You can speak.
Yes, Doc, this is Kofi. I want to contribute small.
Oh, do that.
So the theme of love, when we look at the love between the Othelio and then the wife.
What's the name?
Is that
The name of the wife.
The name of the wife is this thing.
Desmona.
Desmona. So the Desmona, having been told by the this thing, Rediago, that he's cheating on him. If a man doesn't love a woman, and somebody even mentioned that your wife or your girlfriend is cheating on you, you don't care. But when you are deeply in love with a person, as soon as somebody mentioned that, oh, this your wife is being cheated by another person, it means that you be angry. So definitely the love that Otelio has with the wife, it's testimonial, it's too high. That is why when the Radiagu came and lied to him, he believed him and then tried to even kill, try to like he distanced himself from the Casio, because having given Casio as one of the lieutenants to rule, and then he became suspicious of him having an affair with the wife. It means that when you love somebody and then another person comes to tell you that your wife is being cheated by your own friend whom you have given a position to, you feel uncomfortable. Why would I give a position? I am the highest person and I have given a position to somebody to work under me. And then that person, my wife, is now in love with that person as against me, who is the superior. So definitely you feel angry. And that is how I've seen that. And thank you.
Thank you. Any additional contribution to love the
Doc,
theme
thank
of?
you. Doc, thank you for the
Okay.
opportunity. I think I always raise my hand, but you don't call.
Oh, sorry.
Thank you for the opportunity once again. I just want to add an addendum to what my brother just said. Love can be seen in the play or as one of the themes, owing to the fact that Emilia, the wife of Lago, loved the wife of Othello, Desmona. Went after the death of Desmona, she came and God confesses the truth and made it to understand that Lago deceived Othello to kill the wife. To show true love as friends. To show the true love as friends, because after betraying her, she believed that love is the ultimate thing. So she came and stood by her and then to suffer for any of the consequences if the husband may do to her, owing to the love that you have for this mother. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think that's good. So we realize how the play discuss or exploits the theme of love. Then we are looking at Othelio and how he did not actually think very well and then goes ahead to kill the wife and not getting to know the truth of the report that he gets from his friend. He rather loved the friend more than the wife in this sense. It is a deception. One of the things that Shakespeare always to get the hero into trouble. Yeah, contribution love. If not, then we move on to the next theme. I don't think that's the only issue of love that we can talk about.
So,
Yes.
I think love sometimes doesn't make us reason on issues. When you take Iago and the wife, what's the name? So
Emilia.
Emilia, thank you. You see that when Iago told Emilia to take the handkerchief, Emilia couldn't question what the handkerchief was for because he loved the husband, and that alone couldn't allow her to question the use of the handkerchief. And that alone tells how love can make somebody think the other way around without questioning the use of that thing or how that thing can cause the person's life. Thank you.
Asantua. Asantua, your hand is up.
Yes, sir. Another theme of love existed between Bianca and then Cassio. We realized that though Cassio displayed some sort of not him being devoted to her, but she was always in for him. We realized that at the latter part of the play, when Cassio was being shot, Bianca insisted that he wants to follow them and care for him, but Iago tried to make them take her away. So this is also another theme of love that existed in the play.
Okay.
Sir, please, I want to ask a question.
Millicent, okay.
Yes, please. When you read the story, Emilia picking the handkerchief and giving it to Iago, did she know what Iago was going to use the handkerchief for? Because I'm kind of confused as to why Emilia had to pick the handkerchief and give it to Iago when in actual fact she knew the handkerchief was for her mistress.
So that is the deception we are talking about. So you find this kind of deception in the play, and the person doing this has no knowledge of what the purpose of it. So it's not like she is aware of what Iago plans, but she's just doing whatever she's asked to do, and the outcome is what we see. Okay. So for the theme of love, you can still get something to say, but let's move on. There are so many of them. Appearance and reality. Who hides his rare identity? So you can't talk about, you see that the mistaken identity that you talk about in the comedies. In Shakespearean tragedies too, there is this element of appearance versus reality. For example, when you read Lear, you see that in Lear's daughters that pretended to be loving the father, they were the ones that were rather not in loving the father. They were the one that disowned their father. So the rare person you think is doing the right thing is rather the false person. So reality and appearance, how does this reflect in the story or in the plot? Appearance and reality. Who behaves the way he is not, and then hide his rare intentions. So that's where the discussion is now. We have Stephen, you have not spoken. Okay.
All right, sir. Thank you. So, I think the very person who acts the way he isn't is Iago. I think in the opening scene and act, he says, "I am not what I am." So, and then he says that he's only following Othello just for his own cause. So, I think he's not what he is, and his character is seen
So
throughout the play. He manipulates everybody for his own good.
such people are dangerous. There are a lot of such people in Shakespearean tragedies. If you read Julius Caesar, you have a character like Cassius. Cassius is the one who actually masterminded the assassination of Caesar. and he doesn't show any sign of hating Caesar, but he's able to convince the other generals to support the plot of the assassination. So that is it. Santua. There was another hand up, or so we gave you the instance of yeah, who is this? Okay, Ajiwa. You can talk. Ruth Darling.
Brian. Hello, sir.
Yes.
Please, with the issue of appearance and reality, Iago is an example. When Iago is with Othello, he presents himself as someone who loves Othello very much. But behind his back, he's been planning evil against him. So, in appearance, Iago is a very good person to Othello. But in reality, Iago is not a good person and wants the downfall of Othello.
That's good. So that's why you call the hidden identity. The character hides the rare identity in the form of this one, not a disguise, it's an internal thing. So he pretends to be a good fellow, but goes behind to get rid of you.
Yes.
That yeah. Yeah. Let's move on to the next one. Jealousy. Jealousy. From which character's point of action that we can discuss the theme of jealousy? How does the theme of jealousy reflect in the play? By looking at the actions, then the behavior of the characters that we come across. So, who is jealous of who and why? And what was the consequences of this jealousy? Yes. Kofi? Yeah. Yes, Kofi talk. Cynthia.
Say, Iago was jealous of not giving the post, that is the lieutenant's position, to him, and the position was given to Cassio. So he was jealous, and this jealousy lead them to confusion between Cassio and Othello. That's why Iago plots against both of them.
Okay. Yes. Nancy.
Oh, okay, sir. The tip of jealousy can be seen when Rodrigo, why he couldn't get Desdemona to himself, he joined Iago to plot against Othello by reporting him to Brabantio, Desdemona's father, that Othello has eloped with Desdemona.
Okay. Is there any more instances of jealousy? Stephen.
All right, so thank you. I think Othello's jealousy about Cassio cheating with his wife, it consumes him, and then it pushes him to eventually kill Desdemona.
Okay. Is that all? So I think we can fairly explore the theme of jealousy if you go this angle. So we look at Ego and then Othelio's relationship and the fact that Ego select a different person from, Othelio select a different person from Ego. He begin to jealous that, and then this leads to a tragic consequence. So always link the jealousy to the consequence that it resulted into. So we know that you have read it. So link it to the consequences. Okay, so we move on to the next one. Prejudice. Well, is there any instance of prejudice in that the plot? Yeah, you can talk.
All right, so thank you. I think with the theme of prejudice, um, in the opening acting scene, we see that Brabantio is accusing Othello for using magic and power to woo his daughter, Desdemona, just because he's black. And then the people of Venice were of the assumption that black people were using black magic to achieve the sort of things that they want. Yes, and I think also Iago also calls Othello. Uh, I think he calls him a black ram. He tells Brabantio that a black ram is stopping his white ewe. So I think they were all prejudicial remarks that are seen in the drama.
So the prejudice is seen in the racial discrimination, racial prejudice, prejudice Othelio being a Moor, not qualified to marry a white lady, Desdemona, and the rest. Yes, but Desdemona copes with racial prejudice by denying it access to her own life. She doesn't want to compromise on this kind of racial discrimination against Othelio. So no matter the way the people, the whites mock Othelio, Desdemona will not take any of those things and is comfortable with Othelio. So Iago is someone who actually is a favor of this racial discrimination, racial prejudice, and think that an old black man cannot be allowed to marry a white lady. So we talk about an old black man, a ram, who is tapping a white away. So that is the state of mind of Iago, and which is a discrimination in that sense. It is also not surprising that Banshio thinks that Othelio cannot win the heart of his daughter without some form of witchcraft. So that's why we're talking about that. They believe that how can a black man get a white lady to marry if the person is not using some kind of supernatural powers to win the love of the white lady. So that is the mindset of these white Venetians, and they were surprised how Desdemona, a white lady, was set to marry a black man. Okay, that's good.
What do you say?
Yeah. Any more contribution?
Please, mine is a question.
Okay.
Please, is there any underlying factor or factors that made Desdemona fall in love with Othello as a blackamoor?
Okay, anybody with this answer for him? Our brother Sims want to know whether there was some underlying factor. Stephen, you want to answer?
Yes, sir. Please, when Desdemona was summoned by the Duke, he no. Before that, it was Othello who says Desdemona fell in love with him because of his tales and his stories, what he has suffered over the years, and his wars, the places that he has visited. So Othello, Desdemona fell in love with him because he told those stories, and then she admired him for what he has suffered. That's what made
Okay.
her fall in love with him.
Okay. Sims, I hope you are okay.
Yes,
Daniel, you
yes,
want
I'm
to?
okay.
Daniel Dapa, you want to talk?
Yes. Thank you very much, Prof. I want to contribute a little about the pronunciation of the word EWE. It is white U, but not away. White U. The EWE.
So that word can represent three things or two things.
I want to talk about the pronunciation.
No, from which part of the, is it English or local language?
Yeah, English.
English.
Yeah.
Is it an English word?
Yeah.
Is it an English word?
Yes, please. Let me say something. Othello as an old black ram, tapping a white U. That word.
Okay.
White U. But yeah, but not a word.
Is it an English word?
Yeah, from the slides, he is describing Desdemona as white U. That is a female shape.
Oh, that's good. Okay.
So I'm talking about the pronunciation. That as we say white away. I say white U. That's the pronunciation of EWE U.
Okay,
yes.
you confirm it.
The meaning is a white sheep, a female sheep.
Yeah,
I know. I know.
I'm talking about the pronunciation that it is you.
You know that in English, what you call it, we have what you call Englishes. So you are saying it this way. Somebody will say it the other way. But it is sometimes very
Sir, I
good.
don't think that the name is white you. It's ew. The ew here is a metaphor representing Desdemona, like she has been compared to a sheep. You understand?
A female sheep.
Yeah, it is not you. It is you. Like the way we say you. It says
I think its concentration is based on pronunciation. So let's finish and confirm from
this is English. This is English class. That is why I'm taking the pain to do so.
Please,
if we should be reading history, I don't think I would say that.
My brother,
you confirm in later.
My brother, can
Hello.
you listen to me?
Yes, please.
Can you listen to me?
Yeah, Doc.
It is good to be sticking to RP pronunciation, which is the standard pronunciation. But you know that we now have what you call Englishes. You don't have English. You have Englishes. So as I'm speaking with you, I'm in Nigeria now.
Okay.
I'm in Nigeria now. I'm in Nigeria on a program.
Okay.
Now, if I want to go by what you are saying here, whatever I hear people saying here, I'll condemn it as not good English.
Yeah.
But I take it as English because it is the English that they have adapted.
Yeah.
Are you getting it?
Yes,
so
please.
those of us who have that kind of mentality that if you don't speak the RP, it is not English. Let's try to erase it.
Okay.
English is now becoming an international language, and
Yeah.
every part of the world have a way of speaking it. So if I even decided to say it that way, because you are in Ghana, I'm speaking in Ghanaian context for you to get it well. How many Ghanaians ever say you for every? Yeah, they say every, but in actual sense, it is you in the RP.
Yeah.
I get it. So when I'm teaching, I don't use RP.
Okay.
I don't use RP. I use because I did Ghanaian English. I know
Yeah.
how Ghanaians pronounce certain words. So
Yeah.
I don't use RP. I know 99% of Ghanaians don't speak RP. You know that.
Yes.
Yeah. So in Nigeria here, they have their own Nigerian English. That's the pidgin, which is accepted even in a Viva presentation.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's accept and move on. Let's go.
Thank you very much.
Okay. So I think let's move to the next um, point. We are moving on to look at the characters. The characters. So you can pick any of the characters and then let us know the character traits and then the role the character play in the tragedy or in the plot. So we will start with Othelio. Othelio is the main character in actual sense, the tragic hero. What is his role in the play? And how would you describe him? That is the trait. So in looking at the characters, we are looking at both the role and the traits. Are you okay? So who will start with us for us? He will start with the character traits of Othelio. Then he will also mention the role Othelio play in the story. Sarah, or your hand was up since then. Sarah, are you there? Oh, okay. So who is taking Othelio? You want to do a character description, a character analysis of Othelio. Mercy, Asantua, are you there?
Yes, sir, but I'm in a car and the noise is too much. That is why.
No problem, no problem. Okay, let's a different person.
Okay.
Anchua, Safo.
Sir, Grace is there. Grace, Safua.
Grace. I'm calling Grace.
But won't be out of place if you read about the characters here so that someone will summarize it afterwards.
Who is that? He said,
if you read from the slides so that later someone will summarize it, would it not be okay for you?
you see, this is a discussion though. I want to go to the slides and then I'll show. Let me share. Okay. Okay, I'm sharing now.
Hello, sir.
Yes, continue.
So, Othelio, he's a brave soldier and a noble soldier. And also, he's loving. He's a loving husband to Desdemona. Hello,
Add
sir.
more.
Okay,
Go
okay.
ahead.
he's a loving husband to Desdemona, and he also trusted Igo. That led him to kill Desdemona, his wife, or that brought about doubt he had of his wife. He's so trusting and naive again because he trusted Igo too much, and I think that jealousy led him to his tragic flaw. Thank you.
Okay. Anybody to add to Othelio's character? So can you summarize the rule? Mention 1, 2, 3, and then the character trees. How would you describe him? Mention 3 things for us. Sarah.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
So his character trait, his role, his character role, Othelio, we can say he's the protagonist or the main character. He's the protagonist.
The hero.
Yes, please. And he's also the tragic hero. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
And the husband of Desdemona.
Mm-hmm.
And we can also say he was victim. He was he was a victim of manipulation. That is Igo's manipulation.
Okay.
So that is the character role.
Okay.
And his traits can be he was brave, he was loving, a loving husband, and he was also jealous.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Very thoughtful and wise as well.
Hello, sir.
What role did he play in the army?
Hello, sir.
Yes, please.
Please, I have a question. Can we use the protagonist and antagonist in drama, or is only used in novels?
You can use it in drama. You can use it.
Oh, okay. So can we say that Othelio is a protagonist?
Yes. The protagonist is simply the leading character. Are you getting it? The leading
Yes,
character, the leading character in the play or a story.
A story, okay.
The hero is the character that undergo certain changes, and then most often the end of the hero brings about some fear and pity in the audience. He undergoes and acknowledges what he called the recognition and peripetia, reversal of fortune. These are the things that you can use to identify the hero. But a protagonist may not have some of these things that we are talking about. So a character can be a protagonist, but not a hero. Are you getting it?
Yes, sir.
So you read the clothes of nakedness.
Okay.
So you see, Mystic Mysterious is a protagonist. Mystic
But he's not a hero.
He's not a hero, yes. He's not a hero.
Okay.
Because he did not undergo all those things that we talk about, anagnorisis, peripetia, and then catharsis. All these things cannot be linked to him. So for the hero, you must be somebody who even the audience sympathize with your downfall. The audience must sympathize with your downfall. Your downfall must arouse fear and pity in the audience. Are you getting that?
Okay, sir.
So that's the difference.
Okay, thank you.
So let's go to another character.
Hello, Doc.
Yes. Yes.
Please,
you can talk.
I raised my hand, but you didn't see. I would like to talk.
Okay.
I would like to talk about one of the traits of Othello.
Okay.
That is also gullible.
Gullible. How?
That's the reason why Igo was able to trick him that way.
Okay. How do you explain that one?
Gullible, he believes everything that Igo says without investigating it.
Okay. So it means that he easily believes things. He easily believes.
Yes, please.
Yes, sir. Just to add to what my brother just said. I think this man, you are a military commander, meaning that you have meaning that you have soldiers and those lieutenants and all those people under you. So, like, he should have that kind of self-awareness. He should be able to, whatever that comes on his way, he should be able to verify. He should, no, to know that, just imagine something like a president. Lots of people come to you with different motives. So you cannot just, once someone tells something, just the first hand of it, then you pick it and then you start implementing it. So I think he should have consulted or tried to find out, and so that he doesn't get himself into that problem. So he was too gullible.
Okay.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
So what our brother is saying, this means that when you are with a woman, you should trust the woman completely. Because if this man trusted her wife completely, and as we are saying that he loves his wife very much, he should have trusted her completely, because if he was able to do that, he won't kill the woman. So it's just an advice that if you are with a woman, for me, you have to trust the person, because if you don't, without trust, I think you can't move on. But still,
trust.
No argument. That's your point.
Trust.
No argument.
If you trust somebody, it
That's
will
your
help
point.
you a lot. So just an advice.
Thank you very much. Okay, Iago, let's go. Who is taking Iago? Iago is Othello's ancient and position below the lieutenant. You say that Othello is the most powerful person in the army. So you see that Iago wants to get favor from Othello, and we can see that he's also part of the army, and then somehow feel jealous of the position of giving to others by Othello. This man kills Cassio, destroys Othello, and then also discredit Desdemona's virtue by taking advantage of their trust. Are you describing him as a villain in this play, or he is not a villain?
He is a villain.
He's a villain.
Yes.
Excellent. Very strong villain. So how would you describe
I would
him?
say he's the devil.
Hey. Oh. Sister, we beg
So,
you. Yeah. I'm speaking Nigerian language here. We beg. So we beg. Is there a devil? Eh?
So yes, so
How
he's
can
the
he?
devil.
How can he be? How can
He
he
is the
be so carrot?
antagonist.
He can be so. He can be
Can you
so
destroy
carrot.
3 people at a time?
It's very serious. Very. It means that his wickedness is so advanced in the point that you could not think. There are some people like that who always think of bad or evil against others.
Yes, and selfishness is the roots of all this.
Exactly. Selfishness and then jealousy.
He's very
Jealousy
manipulative.
triggered all this.
Exactly. He's a very selfish man. He's jealous.
Manipulative and deceitful.
That
He
man,
wants
you have
everything to work in his favor.
exactly, and he does not want other people to get anything better in their life. That
He's a
is not
two-faced man.
exactly. That's very bad of Iago.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Any question?
I want to ask that. Do you think if any other person was in the place of Othello, other than Othello, who is a black man, do you think Iago would have behaved that way?
So you think that it is because of the color?
Yes. So I believe that because
Somehow,
of
racial.
somehow.
But we can
Let's
make
not
reference
forget
to
that
we can make reference to Julius
Cassio
Caesar.
wasn't a black man. Say, let's not forget that Cassio wasn't a black man. Yes, still Iago hated him. So it wasn't
Exactly.
about racial issue.
It is part of
It was just
his
his nature.
character. His nature,
Yes,
yes.
it's his
Actually.
nature is that he's just wicked.
So we have
He's
people like that.
envious and revengeful.
just a bad man.
He's very, very envious and then revengeful.
So if he meets his death, would you be happy about it or not?
I'll be very happy, but he never died.
Say I'll be happy, Papa. Shakespeare, he didn't do well, Kora. She should have let him die.
So that is where we talk about the lack of poetic justice.
Yes.
So if there should be poetic justice, Iago should not survive. If there is poetic justice, Mystic Mysterious should not survive. So that is the essence of that. Yeah. So he's an interesting character that we can have a lot to say about. Okay. There are a lot of things that we need to discuss. Desdemona, how do you describe her? Do you find her as a fine character or not a good character at all? What aspect of a character do you like? What aspect of a character don't you like?
The fact that she did not listen to her father, but went ahead with her heart, followed Othello.
Was it wrong?
No, she stood for what she wanted.
So is that one accepted?
When she was right. She was right.
Is it good for a woman to be assertive?
Yes, it is, in my own opinion.
Okay.
She was wrong. Desdemona was wrong.
Oh, okay. How?
Because as we being human beings belonging to a parent, and you want to follow your heart to love your partner without the blessings of your parents, most at times that marriage that you go without the blessings of your parents normally don't stand. So that's what happened to Desdemona. So she listened to her parents. I don't think, especially her father, I don't think this misfortune would have occurred to her.
Yes.
Sir, please, concerning Desdemona's own, like, sometimes it happens to us so far as standing for our right is concerned. At times, we might think for the parents who advise us, they see future ahead of us. But we don't care about the future. We only care about few years and then some months. So even for her, I think the writer didn't say it, but I think maybe when she got married, she saw that the husband loves him and that stuff. She might be thinking, you wanted to deny me from this love. But you see how it ended.
Yes.
And sometimes I might think say it was also a result of inferiority complex that's made made him not trusting the wife to that extent.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yes, sir.
I also have an angle that Desdemona is simply the victim of the circumstance. It is not her fault. It was the fault of this guy, Iago. Iago plotted everything. You know, the attitude, the behavior of Iago is that he used other people to achieve what he wants, to get what he wants. So the woman was just used by Iago. So I think she did nothing wrong for loving the man, and the man also loves him. But someone outside their marriage plotted against them at their blind side.
That's true.
Well
done. Well done.
I think one good thing about Desdemona is she defended her husband even at the point of death. Even when Emilia asked her, "Who did this to you?" She still defended her husband when she was even dying. And that is a plus for her.
Okay. I think you can do the same.
Me, no.
Why? Can't you do the same?
No, I can't. At the point of death, I can't. I'm not Desdemona. I can't read.
Sorry.
And someone was beseeching us to always trust women.
Let's move on. Let's move on to Emilia. Iago's wife. Did Iago, Emilia contribute to Iago's downfall?
No, it was Iago himself. His character led to his downfall. Emilia was also a victim of manipulation. She was manipulated. She was manipulated by her husband into taking Desdemona's handkerchief.
Yes.
Which led to all these tragedies.
Or the very, very loyal to Iago. And then he gives the Desdemona's handkerchief to him instead of Desdemona. So Emilia is the greatest character developed in Act 4 and 2. You can get lots of things about her. She is very open-minded, doesn't have any evil thing about Desdemona or Othello or whoever. But he's also a victim of what you said, circumstance, and is find herself in this kind of issues that comes up. Yeah.
Okay. So she was disloyal to her mistress, and then as a character trait.
He was disloyal to the mistress.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So I think Duke of Venice. He comes in. Duke is the introduced in Act 1.
So please, I have a question.
Okay, you can ask.
Yes, sir, please. With Emilia being, we saying she being disloyal, I somehow find it difficult to understand, in the sense that I first asked the question whether about she being aware of what she was going to use there. She taking the handkerchief, the consequences of she taking the handkerchief. And we came to the realization that she wasn't aware of what the handkerchief was going to be used for. And so she wasn't in the known. So here we describing her as being disloyal. Makes it a bit difficult for me to understand because she didn't know. She was just a victim.
So,
Why
So
should she take it in the first place? Because it's not the person who asked you to bring the thing to him, it's not his. And you work for Desdemona. Why take her thing and give to somebody else without her permission? So that makes her disloyal.
This is another point we can also talk about. So it depends on how you look at it from. So we are all right because you can explain it from one angle, the other person also give an argument, and that is the essence of literature. So it is not one fit for all, that everything said is okay for everybody. Well, literature is open. Even the writer doesn't know all the comments we are making, all the commentary we are making about his or her work. We have no those intentions. We are reading into what has been written. Yeah, so the intended meaning, we have it variously, differently. It may not be the same. Some may support this argument, some may support the other argument. So I think it depends on how you are able to use evidence or instances from the text to support whatever argument you make. That will make it to stand. Yeah. So I think we need to move faster a little bit because we have a lot of the characters, the minor characters, for example, Duke of Venice. You can look at the Duke mentioned in Act 1 Scene 3, in charge of the province of the city of Venice, and is the one that sends Othelio with his wife Desdemona to Cyprus to tout or to stop the Turkish invasion. And the Duke hopes Othelio leadership of his Venetian forces will see them victorious. So even though Othelio was not a white man, the Duke trusted Othelio to do well because he has shown that he is a good military man, and he can be trusted with that responsibility of leading the army to tout the Turkish invasion of Cyprus. So when Brabantio tries to have Othelio punished for allegedly seducing his daughter, Desdemona, with witchcraft, the Duke displays his wisdom. Then he learning the truth by allowing Brabantio, Othelio, and Desdemona to tell their side of the story. So he's a man of wisdom. He does not just take a decision. He just think about it. He just use certain wisdom to find out the truth and then be able to advise. So he later wisely tells Brabantio to accept Othelio and Desdemona's marriage. Then he argues that Brabantio will gain a son in the process. He's responsible for Cassio being made governor of Cyprus, replacing Othelio in Act 4 and Scene 1, and for Othelio being recalled from Cyprus. So he also played a significant role, that is the Duke of Venice. Now we move on to look at, I want us to move a little bit faster. Brabantio, we have mentioned already, didn't want to give the daughter to Othelio to marry, but in the end, when Duke of Venice comes in, he accepts to allow the marriage. Then we have Graciano Rodrigo Montano. All these are minor characters. You have to, I guess, have a look at them and see the literary contribution they made to the development of the plot. So we'll not waste much time on that one. Lord Divigo is also one of the minor characters that we can look at and see the role that character plays to develop the plot in that sense. So apart from contributing to Acts 5 Scene 2, where she criticizes Othelio for murdering his wife, Desdemona, and falling from grace to act like a common slave and not the respected man he once was. So Rodrigo is an honorable man. He also plays an active role in the discovery process of Iago's treachery by finding a note indicating Cassio was to be killed and learning that Othelio killed Desdemona. So there are a lot of things that you can learn about Lord Divico. So we go to the crown Bianca, servant to Othelio. The crown mocks the Venetians Cassio arranges to play before the castle. So here, the crown mocks the sopran musicians and so on. Within the cycles of Othelio, the crown Bianca plays an important role in entertaining the generals and then the people they move with. So the mistress to Cassio, Bianco plays a limited but significant role in the play. So though they are minor characters, they are given a special role, which without it will not make the plot complete. So anytime you see a minor character, don't ignore the character. Just trace the character and see how the character contributes to the action of the play. Yeah, so very, very important for you to do that. Okay, so we are moving on to our next slide. Yeah, so look at the.
Hello, sir. Sir, please, the slides that you are using, please can you share with us? We don't have it. For me, I don't have it. So if you can please share.
I'll share, but I've shared it long ago.
Oh, then we don't have it. Me, I don't have it.
Wait, Cynthia, are you in Westco group? Oh, then
yes,
it's there. It's there. We will reshare it.
Please, some of us are not there and we need this seriously. We are begging.
So let him share.
Okay, we'll share.
It on the
share.
HTS platform. That one there.
Okay, I will share it on the main platform.
Okay, thank you.
I'll share it on the general platform for you just after the discussions. I'll share that.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. So let's move on to the chapter 4, and we have that one as a continuation of chapter 3 or unit 3. So under unit 4, we are looking at the language used in Othello. The language here, we are looking at language and other literary elements. So we are much interested about the language used and then the literary techniques employed by the playwrights to make the story surface. Yes. So we begin by looking at the language, how special the language is. So we are saying that Shakespeare employs dense, poetic, metaphoric, and then imageries in his poems, in his tragedies. Most of the language, you can see that the most important characters speak in verse, and then the less important characters or the unimportant characters, they speak in prose. So Shakespeare shifts between prosaic language and poetic language. So in the play, you could find some of the dialogue in verse, some also in prose. So it is part of Shakespearean style of writing drama. So, or the play, you will see that one very well. So you see verse versus prose. The dialogue are in verse or in prose. And we recognize that he makes or he gives the main characters the role in such a way that they speak in verse. And in that one, he is going with Aristotle. Because Aristotle said that the language of tragedy must be in verse, and that is what he calls language embellish. Language embellish. Yeah. So there is a lot of metaphor, there is a lot of repetition, there is a lot of poetic expressions or poetic language use. Yeah. Good. So you can take yourself into metaphorical use of language. Shakespeare employs a lot of metaphor in his play, and this one too, there is a lot of metaphor in this play. So we get an example in dangerous conceits which are embedded in the story. So through aside, Iago uses a lot of metaphors. You can see that in his dialogues. Dangerous conceits are in their nature's poisons, which at the first are scared found to distance, but with a little art upon the blood, burn like the mines of sulfur at 3 sin 3. So there are several instances of metaphoric use of language by Shakespeare in Othello. And we have cited a lot of them. You can take a look at them at your private studies. So the first instance of language use is the use of metaphorical language. An indirect language. No question? Yes, I'm listening.
There is something I want to find out from you. Even one we're reading as you like it. Now you see that at the right side of the book, there are some numbering. There are some numbering there. So I don't know. I don't know what they are for.
They are explaining. They are explaining some expressions and then some words. Certain things that are on the right. And the
No, that one I get it. That one is at the left side. Those that they are they explain those. But I mean those that are the right side.
The right side.
Those are the yes. Those are the left. I know that they are used in explaining some of the language and the words that we don't understand.
He
But the
numbers.
right.
He numbers the lines. He numbers all the lines. So he numbers them like you are numbering a poem. You are numbering the verse, the stanzas.
Yeah. So my point is that we know that in poetry or in poems that we do that in stanzas. But this drama, why do we have something like that?
That is the style he used. That is the style of Shakespeare.
Okay.
That's his parent style. So his style is that even though it is a play, most of the dialogues are in verse. Because most of these are in verse, he used the numbering to mark the number of lines. To mark the number of lines that are being spoken by the characters. So ideally, it should have been in poetry, but he's using this one for easy identification and reference. Maybe you want to quote a line from Othello. You can mention line line maybe 20. Then we can go there.
Okay.
You can find it in Art 3. So when you go to Art 3 in 1, you can get the numbering so that you can straight forward, go there and look at that one. So the next literary element or device used is repetition. So we get a lot of repetition from the lines as we read the Shakespearean play. There are certain expressions that are repeated. There are certain diction words that are repeated for emphasis. We know that repetition is for rhetorical purpose. It's a rhetorical purpose. So it always makes the idea stick into the mind, and we don't always forget about it. Or even for easy memorization, the writer may use repetition. So for emphasis, for rhetorical purpose, and sometimes also to create some musical effect, to make it more rhythmic and others, to create some kind of sound effect into the play. So repetition is the second device used apart from the metaphor. The next one is the poetic language. We've spoken about the fact that poetic language is very prevalent in Shakespearean plays. So the poetic language is the language that Aristotle calls the language embellished. That is the language in verse. So in Othello, many of the lines or many of the dialogues are written in verse, and this creates a kind of poetic language environment. When you are listening to the play, you get the feel that it is being rendered in the poetic form. Yeah. So there are a lot of instances you can cite to support the fact that Shakespeare makes use of poetic language. The fact is that he organized most of the dialogues in verse, and verse is a poetic language. So that's the third language used, the language used in the prose versus verse. So I talk about prose versus verse dialogue used by Shakespeare. So you see that he uses prose and then verse, where in most instances he uses the verse. So Shakespeare mixes both verse and prose frequently in Othello. So this is a shift from verse to prose in order to create some emotion. So he uses the verse to create emotional effect. And when he wants to be ordinary, he allows the characters to speak in prose. And we have said that the distinction here is that most of the important characters speak in verse, and those who are unimportant, the less important characters, they speak in prose. Because prose is the language of the ordinary. Prose is the language of the ordinary people. Okay, any contribution?
Hello, sir.
Yes.
For the language, the English that they speak, it seems it's old English, but sometimes when we are reading, I don't understand
Middle English. It is Middle English.
Middle English. Sometimes I don't even understand the words. I don't even know how to pronounce them. So that one, I say, what should we do? Sometimes I don't understand even kind of
that Shakespeare's time has its own language. So Shakespeare could not have written in the language you want him to write. Are you getting that?
Yes, sir.
Shakespeare could not write in the language you prefer him to should have written. Because that was not the.
Can they
That was.
write it? Can they rewrite?
Some people have done that. A lot of Shakespeare's books or works have been written in modern English. You can search and get them. Even this one, you can get its modern translation.
Oh, okay.
They are there. And some of the books, some of the books too, they have the two. They have the two running together. Yes.
Then this is Kofi. Please, Doc, let me also find out. So when you take the actual book, there are some words small written. Are we to read that one as part of it, or that one is not needed? And what is, if it is needed, what is the essence of writing that
who is coming to read the book?
You said?
No, I was asking what is the essence of writing that small distance? What's the essence? If it is part of the reading.
Which one is the small thing?
The one we take the Shakespeare, the book, as it is. As you like it. When you take it, some of the books, some of the writing, it's small. Why? Is it part or they don't need it? What is the essence?
It's not Shakespeare who wrote them all. This one is the publisher. It has been published by a publishing house. So the way they are written it, this one is the one who bought it, a long man. So it is long man publication. That has been written in that way. Are you getting that?
Say.
Yes.
Please, during our first time meeting on Shakespearean theory, you said you contact one lecturer concerning the Henry the Fifth, that you contact whether we are supposed to read, but it seems we've not gotten a reply from you.
He said you should read though. He said you should read, but he will give you areas for the exams.
Hey, Jesus.
Yes,
okay.
Thank you.
That is good for the first time.
So you are supposed to read. You are supposed to read, but he will give you areas for the exams. Are you okay?
Yes, please say. Thank
yes,
you.
Hey. So read.
Right.
Yes. Somebody is asking a question. Yes, I'm listening.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir. When are we going for a break? I think we'll be on for 3 hours now.
Okay, let's go for a small break and come back.
You know.
Oh, please, you are love it. This one now, can't you continue?
Yes.
Oh, please, we need a break. Some of us woke up and we just joined.
Let's continue so that he can.
Let's continue so that he finish early and then he goes. Let's continue. This small break will not help us. Let's continue.
So I think we can make progress.
So please, let's continue so that at least when it's 10:30 or somewhere you close.
Yes.
Exactly.
Since we are losing him. Okay, he has muted, so maybe we have to accept the break.
Yeah.
Hello. They are saying we should.
Doc, let's continue. That's what we agree upon.
When it's 10:30, you can close us.
At least 10:30, 11, you close. So let's continue, Doc.
No problem. Let's continue. So you were still discussing the techniques used in the play.
Please mute your mic. So
We are talking about the techniques used in the play. So we just talk about the use of verse and then prose, prosaic language and then poetic language or verse language. The language in verse is popular in Aristotelian tragedy. According to Aristotle, the language of verse is the most better or good form of language. So he recommends the language should be poetic, but Shakespeare modifies that and includes other forms of language, and then he uses the verse. So the introduction of verse into the language of tragedy is that of is coming from Shakespeare, because in the classical period they did not involve the prose language in it. So Shakespeare adapts prosaic language together with verse. And there's a time for him to use prose, and there's a time for him to use verse. And I've said that when he wants the lines to sound more poetic, then he adapts verse. Then when he wants the lines to look ordinary, then he adapts the prose. So he makes them. It is, but you still see that the dominant use is the verse. The verse dominates. The verse dominates the dialogue. So that is Shakespeare. Now we move on to look at the tone of the play. So here the tone, we are looking at the attitude of the author in this work. So we can get it from Shakespeare's point of view through the words the characters speak on the stage. You can look at the tone there. So the tone revolves around the characters, the character Iago, that who expresses his cynicism frequently. So the tone of cynicism is there. And then Rodrigo, a sorrowful tone at losing his chance with Desdemona. So these can be drawn from, the tone can be drawn from the words chosen by the characters on the stage to talk. This, you can get the tone from it. And then the mood is the atmosphere that is evoked through the emotions that we get when the play moves on. So the mood changes from time to time in the play. So if you read the play, you see that the mood is not static. At some point, the mood becomes something like sad, frustrating, and there's some kind of empathy feeling and all that. This mixture of mood is what we encounter in the play. So there's some aspect of the play that also brings us some form of happiness, which may also be part of the mood. So there's a mixture of mood. But for the villain, Aego, we could have gotten something very flexible in the sense of the tension. But the Aego's plots makes the mood to become tense. The mood is very tense. Then we are to look at the diction. When you say diction, we are looking at the choice of words. Some people are saying the words are old, archaic, but we cannot talk about that because Shakespeare wrote in the period where we had what they call Middle English. So it is the English at the time that he used to write his plays. So we cannot base on it to say it is archaic in the sense that he could have used a modern English. No, there was nothing like this modern English. So his language was based on the language of the time. So the play's diction is very unique. The language expresses a lot of emotions, and it gives us a sense of the conflict and everything that is brought forward. So the events are recounted to us. Sometimes we are also introduced to something like a foreshadow. Some actions are foretold within the mood, tone, and the diction. We get to know what is to happen later in the story. There are also some form of soliloquy or soliloquies. So the instance of soliloquy has to do with Iago's soliloquy, for instance, where he speaks to himself. He often speaks openly of his plan for revenge, and that only the reader will know. And that is what he called the dramatic irony. Dramatic irony. So in the instances where Iago adopts soliloquies, he creates what you call dramatic irony, because whatever he says, it is the audience alone that get to know that the key character that need to know will not have that knowledge of that. Okay. So section 3 is literary elements. We are continuing with it. Without there's no Shakespearean play that you will not see the literal element of symbolism. So symbolism is also another important feature you find in Othello. So Othello, we come across various symbols which are very important to the contributing to the plot development. So we discuss some symbols. The handkerchief is a symbol. How symbolic is the handkerchief? Anybody can explain that? How symbolic is the handkerchief in the play? What does the handkerchief symbolize?
I think it depends on the purpose. If normally when we have it, we use it to wipe off the sweat on the body. But in this particular instance, maybe it was used as a charm to cast spell, maybe on some people or something like that. So I think it depends on the purpose of using.
So I
It is
think
a
that
symbol.
it's a spiritual binding between the two lovers. So the handkerchief shows the spiritual binding between the two lovers. So if it is missing, it means that their love is missing, and whoever is possessing it is possessing their love. So it cannot get to a third person when the two of them are not aware. It's always have to be on them. And so that is the spiritual binding between the two lovers.
So
Thank
it
you.
is also a symbol of love.
Love.
I think we agree with that. Any other?
Hello, Doc. It also
Hello.
represents a sign of fidelity in marriage. And
Yeah,
that's where men
just like the ring.
The ring, yes.
and
So
that
it
same
cannot
handkerchief,
war by a third person.
as Othello says, his father gave it to his mother, and so it also symbolizes the love of Othello's father to the mother.
Okay. So symbolism is very key when it comes to the techniques employed by Shakespeare in Othello. So when you are referring to symbolism, you can talk about the symbolic object, that's the handkerchief. It symbolizes love, symbolizes virginity, fidelity, and the rest. All these must be looked at. So the symbolism is one of the main tools used by Shakespeare in the play. And we mentioned the first element of symbol. There is another thing which is used as a symbol, the song willow. The song willow. We talk about the song willow, which symbolizes Desdemona, similar doom to the Barbary maiden, who sang willow and was actually killed shortly after. So the song, which is about infidelity, the songs also symbolizes infidelity and betrayal. The song symbolizes infidelity and then betrayal. It is one of the key symbols Shakespeare used in the play. Okay, let's go. There is some animal symbols too there. There are three things. So animal symbols. Is there any animals mentioned in the play? There are animals. There are a lot of animal symbols. You talk
Hello.
about a comparison of the Barbary horse, an old black ram, and then we talk about the ewe, the ewe that you talk about. These are all used as symbols. And what does this represent? What does these symbols represent? The symbol, animal symbols. What do they represent? What do they represent? Anybody? Then from them we look at allusion. Is there any allusion? Daniel. Daniel,
Hello.
you have raised your hand.
Doc, yeah, thank you. I go also refer to Othello as Barbary horse.
Okay.
It symbolizes racism.
Oh, that's fine. Racism, yes. Racial discrimination. Any more on that one? Can you also look at the allusion? What are the instances of allusion in the play? Yes, sir.
Thomas, be audible enough. Hey, okay. We aren't hearing you. We aren't hearing you.
Who is talking? Hello. I'm there. I asked a question on the allusion. Which aspect of the play exemplifies allusion? So we said that there are several allusions in the Othello. These allusions in the play can be categorized into 3. Mythological, religious, and historical or political allusions. So, allusion is when there is an inference made to a certain occurrence in the past or in certain realm. So you can have myth being used, being made use of in the play to reflect whatever the poet is the writer is trying to say. Please, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay.
Yes, sir.
I thought you lost me. Yeah. So in this play too, we have a number of allusions, and we are talking about the fact that these allusions are references made to certain past events or certain past occurrences, and the 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 utterances or the dialogue reflect those past things or myths. And when the writer used that, then we see that he's making an allusion. Either is a myth, either is a biblical event or a historical fact, which is being brought into the action. So we get that from there. Sorry, I don't want to pick my slides. I'm not. Is the slide showing? Sorry.
No, sir.
Oh, okay.
No, sir.
But do you have the slides?
No, sir.
But it's on your
So you
platform.
said you send it to us.
Oh.
Some have. I have it. Some
Some.
don't have.
Okay. So we are still on chapter 4. Sorry, unit 4. We are trying to conclude on the literary devices used or the techniques employed by Shakespeare in this play. So we mentioned the language, we mentioned the symbols, the use of symbols, and now we looking at the use of allusion as an element of the play. So allusion is a reference made to past or unrelated issues, which the writer tries to bring in to explain something. So sometimes he puts this allusion in the mouth of the actors or the characters. So they speak, and then we get it through whatever we listen to. So the allusion to the myth is there. Then the allusion to religion is also there. You can see we have cited examples of the allusions. So I think this one is just a matter of reading exactly what we have said. So we are just citing examples. To you, do ye triumph, Roman? This is an allusion to an ancient Roman general, a battle that was fought. There was another one which also, oh sorry, my machine is making some mistakes. So, oh, those who have the slides, can you read?
Spartan dog.
Can you read that one for me?
Yeah. Oh, Spartan dog, more fell than anguish.
Okay.
hunger, or the sea.
Mm-hmm.
Look on the tragic loading of this bed at 5 scene 2.
Okay. What is that allusion?
This is an allusion to the Spartans, an ancient Greek warrior society known to be ruthless killers.
So is it a mythological allusion
Historical
or a
and
historical
political.
allusion? Historical, very good.
Historical and political.
Okay. So Shakespeare is fond of doing that in a lot of most of his plays. We just make a reference to a past event, a past happening, or a myth, or even a biblical story, and you draw in the reference so that we can compare it to the current happening and make our own judgment. So that's the purpose of the use of the allusion. He thinks that we are not only living in the present, we also live in the past. We also live in the mythologies and the things that we have heard of long ago. So in his place, you try to smuggle in some of these allusions. Let's go to the next element.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
There with the allusion, how can you identify that this is a biblical, this is a myth, this is history or historical?
It
How?
is based
Because
on
I haven't heard of anything like that. So when I'm reading, how would I identify that this is a myth, this is historical? Thank you.
it is the context. It is the context. It is a context. If it is making reference to a happening in the past, that clearly tells you that it is about history. If it is making reference to the Bible or Bible story, or the reference has something to link to the Bible, then you say it is a biblical allusion. If it is having
So,
something to do with a strange happening, which is unbelievable, which is may not be accepted as can happen in the real sense, then you say it is a mythological allusion. It is the context that will determine which allusion is using.
please, you made reference to the Bible with the religious allusion. I want to say that Julius Caesar's remember the Hours of March. Is it also an allusion?
Which
The
allusion?
hours, the
Allusion
hours of
to
March has come. Can it be taken as a biblical religious allusion?
maybe this one will be, it's a direct this thing, but it will be historical
Oh, okay.
because that particular utterance, it's drawn from the history, what actually transpired when Caesar came from the conquest of Pompey. So this one is a historical allusion. So it is not biblical. Well, there's nothing, no story in the Bible that talks about Ides of March. Ides of March is a Republic Day for the Romans at the time. There is a Republic Day, like a holiday or Independence Day or whatever we call. So the Ides of March, they have a gathering, the generals and then all the governors or whatever, they will all meet at what they call the Capitol, which is the Parliament House or the State House. Then they'll have a function there, just like we organize Independence Celebration Day, and then the president will sit and people will come and do things. So that is the Ides of March. So it's a Republic Day of the Romans. So this is a historical fact. So it makes reference to the historical happening when Caesar was offered the crown and he refused the crown and all that. Yes. Let's move on to the next one. My machine is making that I listen to. I can't get the slides as I want. Mhm. So from allusion, you move to what?
That's section 4. Key literary elements,
Yeah,
part
we
2.
are still in session 4. Okay,
So
session
key
4. Eh?
literary elements, yeah, part 2. Irony, motives, and foreshadowing.
Okay. Is there any irony in it? Is there any indirect species or statements? Statement that means the opposite. You can cite any example of that. So irony is when somebody says this but means the other thing. But the irony can be verbal. It can be also be something implied in the sense. So verbal irony is there. Then we have the other forms of irony. Which one is used by Shakespeare in Othello?
So here, situational and dramatic irony in Othello.
Okay. So
Othello,
where Othello speaks in a soliloquy, where we, the audience, get to know what is happening, but the characters are not aware of it. That is where the dramatic irony comes in. What about the situational irony?
Othello, a good man, commits a heinous crime. Iago, an evil man, masquerades as an honorable man. In fact, in one of the better known passages in the play, Iago extols honor, saying, "Good name in man and woman, dear my lord, in the immediate jewel of their souls. Who steals my purse steals trash. But he that filches from me my good name robs me of that which not enriches him, and makes me poor indeed."
So this one is an example of a situational irony.
Yes, please.
Did you have any other verbal irony there?
Okay, the situational irony also continues.
Look for verbal irony.
Okay.
This one, somebody says A and means the other, the opposite. You didn't cite any example of verbal irony.
I'm not seeing it from situational and dramatic. It came to motives and size and blindness.
So it means that we have the two main irony there. Situational and what? Ironic.
Dramatic irony.
Dramatic irony. So it means that there's no clear instance of verbal irony there. That's good. So we move on to the next one, which is the motive.
Yeah.
Motives. Yes, the motives are the ideas that runs through. It's almost like the theme. I want to say motive. It is the intentional meaning which runs through the plot. That becomes the motive. So the motive is an important element, the element that is used by the writer.
So it
Some
seems to
say
have connection with symbolism.
yes, motives are
Motifs are symbolic images or ideas that appear frequently in a story.
exactly.
Motifs
So
can be symbols.
they
Some
represent
abstract
something.
ideas. Okay.
So you read the clothes of nakedness. There were a lot of motifs in it. In particular, you had child motif. The motif about using a child as a character in the story. What was the purpose for that? To let us know that the life of children are being destroyed by adults in the society. Then vulnerable children can be used by ordinary people who don't have good intentions about children, like mysterious. So motives can be symbols. They can even be sounds or even actions or ideas. Yeah. So we can still get some from Othello. So here we come across a number of motives. For example, he mentioned when Desdemona asks to be allowed to accompany Othello to Cyprus. She says that she saw Othello's visage in his what? My is almost dropping. Can you read that one for me?
In his mind.
In his mind, yes. So this is a reflection of what she's thinking. So that is a motive behind that. That's an idea, a resemblance of what is going on in the minds of the person. Okay. Then we have
sight and blindness.
So the motive of sight and blindness. Then we have the plant motives. Any plant motives? Yes. Ego strangely preoccupies with plants, and his speeches to Rodrigo in particular makes extensive elaborate use of vegetable metaphors. Our bodies are whatever. So you see all those things creating that plant motifs in the play. So the motifs are objects that can be used or ideas that can be reflected in the words of the characters. And through their dialogue, these intentions are planted in the expressions that they use, which we are referring to as even plant motifs are there, animal motifs are there. You can also make reference to them. And the book is very rich in a lot of techniques. Shakespeare adapted several of the techniques that we cannot identify all within this short period. So Barbary horse, we talk about old black ram, and then the ewe. All these are symbols, which are motifs representing something. Okay, the motifs are representation of something which is not direct. Hell and demons and the monsters, they are all used here as motifs. Yeah. So apart from motifs, we can also talk about foreshadow. I think we talked about foreshadow before. Foreshadowing. What is foreshadowing? When does foreshadowing occur?
So when an earlier event is recalled or displayed to start the story or the play.
I think that is supposed to be a flashback. If we talk about
the foreshadow, the character will say something that will show that it's going to happen in future. So, so in future, this thing will happen. What the character will say, they will know that going ahead, something like this will happen. Per the character's action and inactions. Thank you.
Yes,
this is
yes,
sir.
So any instances from Othello where we are made aware of something that is to happen ahead. We are giving some kind of
yes
idea.
Hello.
Yes, we are listening.
Yeah, there's an instance when the Luna sang or sings the willow song,
Mm-hmm.
saying that um, she will die unknowingly.
Okay. So this one has some kind of spiritual something. Okay.
Yes.
It's somehow supernatural. Okay. Any other instance of foreshadow? Anything of ego, and then I'll tell you. So a number of them can be identified in the many soliloquies used by Aigo. So most of the things that he says, they are said ahead of time, so that when they happen, we know that it is his uh, planning or what he has planned that is executing in that effect. So we are made to get a sense of his hatred for Otelio at the beginning, and then this is what we are looking forward to see as the play moves on. So that sense of uh, foreshadowing, forecasting what is going to happen is what we call the foreshadow. So foreshadow is a technique that helps to advance the plot, and then it also removes some kind of uh, or sometimes brings about what you call suspense. Mhm. Suspense to see whether it will come
Hello.
or not. Mhm. And then it also arouses the interest. It arouses the interest of the reader or the audience to
Hello.
want to know what actually will happen at the end of the play. Yeah. Somebody want to ask a question?
Yes, please.
Mm-hmm.
So please, can that repetition that was shouting blood, blood at that scene play be also an example of this?
Can that but what?
The repeating he was made in of blood, blood when he wanted to kill this man.
So it happened.
Like that, it happened that he killed testimony, and I'm asking, is that scene also can it be also said as foreshadowing or?
So when it occurs, it actually come to pass.
Yes, please.
Mhm. So that is a foreshadow. So any hint, anything that uh, is foretold, that is the foretelling. The future is being given now. What is going to transpire is what we get to know. It's what we call the foreshadowing. Yes. So, for example, a clear example is when you read the gods are not to blame. In the gods are not to blame, it says the the gods told the people that the child is going to grow and then become adult and then kill the father and marry the mother. Are you getting that? That one becomes the foreshadow. So the event is foretold before its actual occurrence. So that's the same thing that we are talking about. So it is there. Yeah.
So foreshadowing and allusion, do they relate in a way?
No.
But so the example you gave is like you are giving reference to something that will happen. And when
No,
it happens,
not reference. Mhm. It's like somebody is prophesying or predicting. Mhm. or is divining or giving us a clue of what is yet to come. And in the course of the play, it comes to pass. If it doesn't come to pass, it doesn't become a foreshadow. You don't recognize it. The event must happen. The action must happen to be identified as part of the foreshadow.
Those that are fulfilled, once they are fulfilled, can't you make reference to it?
Which one? For example,
if for instance it is an event that has been foretold and it is fulfilled, once it's fulfilled, can't we say on this day this and that happened to make it allusion?
No, allusion is something within which is outside the plot, which the writer is drawing into the plot action. Are you getting it? It is an inferences made outside the plot itself.
Okay, so if an instance is quoted from the Bible, it is outside.
It's outside the whole thing.
Okay.
But for foreshadow is part of the plot. Whatever is said and whatever comes to pass is within the plot. It's not something outside that you are drawing or you are bringing to the plot itself. Yeah. So if you make any references outside of the plot of the play, and it is historical, it is biblical, then talking about allusion. Because it doesn't have any direct link with what is happening in the play. But you want to use it to make a point or to clear an idea or to just to link some ideas together well for the reader to get you well. Okay.
So,
So,
I have a question. When you were doing proof of nakedness, we learned that we call it a trickster tale, and we also mention of a fairy tale and some others. So this one, do we have any name for it?
Which one?
What you are doing, this play, this Shakespeare's tragedy. Do we have any name like what we have for proof of nakedness that we said it is called a trickster tale? We also have some we call fairy tale. That is the animal farm. Do we have any name like that for this one?
Yes, this one is called a tragedy.
Okay.
This one is a Shakespearean tragedy. That is the name. A Shakespearean tragedy.
Okay.
So that is the name for this one. You see that the close of nakedness, there is a tragic ending, even some tragic incidents, but we do not call it a tragedy. We do not discuss it as a tragedy because that is not the intention of the writer. That is not the main focus. Main focus is to change a traditional story into a modern story. In that form, the writer is drawing from the tradition and to modernize it. That's why we say that the play can be looked at as a folk tale. And then in that sense, what type of folk tale? Then we say a trickster tale. Yes, but a trickster tale can be tragic or comic. A trickster tale may be comic or tragic. So, but this play is one of Shakespeare's tragedies. So there's no other name we give to it rather than calling it a Shakespearean tragedy. So that we read As You Like It, we call it Shakespearean comedy. So that is the name for it. That is the name for it.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so let's move on to the next one, which is we have moved from foreshadow. So from foreshadow, we go to, can you check for me?
Section 5. Uniqueness of Othello as a Shakespearean tragedy.
Hello. You said
Section 5. Uniqueness of Othello as a Shakespearean tragedy.
Okay. So here they want us to identify the elements that we discussed, the characteristics we discussed earlier, and point out those characteristics that are replicated in the play we have read. So which of the characteristics can you say that is reflecting in this play too? We start with a tragic hero. Is there any presence of tragic hero? Is there a presence of... So who is the tragic hero?
To tell you.
And he belongs to which group, social grouping?
It's high class, noble class.
The army or the military.
Okay, so he's a general. He's a general in the army. Okay, so he comes from the army. Very good. What makes him a tragic hero? Apart from the fact that he belongs to the army, what are the characteristics of a hero that he possesses that makes him a hero? Apart from identifying him as as one of the generals or an important figure in the society, in the community. Yes, anybody?
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's a tragic hero because after he identified his mistakes, he did not blame his mistakes on someone else, but rather took upon himself that he committed the mistakes and then he killed himself.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. Yes. Sir,
please. I think he's a tragic hero because he has this tragic flaw, and we know that in Shakespearean's tragedy, one of the characteristics of a tragic hero is that the tragic hero must have a tragic flaw. That is the hamartia. So in this case, Othello has a tragic flaw, which is his jealous nature that led him to his downfall. Yes.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Any other that makes him a tragic hero? Do you talk about Andandor? Did he recognize his mistake? Did he undergo?
Yes, please.
Recognize his mistakes.
And there is
Yes,
what you
please.
call the peripetia, reversal of fortune. Was there any reversal of fortune in his character?
Oh yes, I think so. Because he realized his mistakes and then he decided to take his life, and that changed his life forever.
And what about reversal of fortune? From grace to grave. So,
but this one is from grace to grass.
And there wasn't any.
So you see that his fortune was high, somebody who has been revered and been made a general to lead a Venetian army, somebody who is a Moor, who cannot get that position easily.
So I even learned he was a Muslim.
And for you to rise to that level and get this kind of downfall, that is what you call the reversal of fortune. From good to bad. When the character moves from good to bad, then he has gone through reversal of fortune. Is there anything like a catharsis where we talk about arousal of fear and pity? Did his downfall cause any fear and pity in us as audience?
Yes, sir.
It did.
So all these things you use to justify why he's a tragic hero. These are the key things you have to point out to illustrate that this makes him a tragic hero. There is a catharsis, there is a acknowledgement, that's a recognition. And then there is peripetia, reversal of fortune. Then Hamartia, yes, there's a flaw in his character. So that is what we do. I think it is very easy for that. Let's move to any other characteristics Shakespeare identifies to be. We identify as Shakespeare's tragedy must have those tragedy, elements or features, apart from the hero.
We have how to appreciate Shakespearean tragedy.
Oh, have you finished with the element that makes it a tragedy?
Yes, and under that we have the tragic elements.
What are they?
Okay, so we have the analysis of a play, the title and the playwright, types of play, and then historical context or setting. Then we have characters, conflicts, and then themes. Yes, sir.
So Vincent, which of them makes the play a tragedy?
Yes.
So let's point out, apart from the fact that there is a tragic hero, what else can we say that is present, which makes the play a tragedy? Yes. So then.
Yes, sir. Sir, please. I think there is a tragic end to the play, of which we see the tragic hero dying. Yes. So I think this is one of the elements of Shakespearean's tragedy.
Is it common to only Shakespeare's tragedy?
No, please. Aristotle too has the same.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Tragic flaw, Hamartia, is also there. You mentioned that under a tragic hero, but you can treat that one as a separate thing from the tragic hero. So there is also Hamartia.
Yes, please.
There is also catharsis, analysis, and the rest. They are all part of what makes it Shakespearean tragedy. Yes. Then we also have the lack of poetic justice. Lack of poetic justice. It's also an element of Shakespearean tragedy. Why is it there? What is the instance that shows that there was lack of poetic justice in the play?
Sir, please, can I talk?
Yeah, you can talk.
Yeah. This can be seen when Othello at the latter end of the story, where we all got to know that it was Iago's plot that led to all the happenings in the play. So instead of Iago being punished, he didn't receive the punishment that he's supposed to get. But we could see that the tragic hero died, leaving the person who caused the downfall of the tragic hero. They left him without him being punished, even though he was. I don't know where they took him. I think they sent him to prison, but to us, we think he should have also been killed so that we all have the poetic justice. But at this time, he was not killed. They just took him away, and we've not heard that he was being killed. So I think there is lack of poetic justice here. If he had been killed, then the poetic justice would have worked. But since he has not
Okay,
been killed, there was nothing like poetic justice over here. Thank you.
good. Excellent. Okay. So gradually we are going to the last part. That is the last section. That's how to appreciate a Shakespearean tragedy. So this one is the pedagogy aspect of it. So once we are teachers, we will be teaching Shakespearean tragedy to our students. And
So
these
your
are
line is
the
breaking.
oh, is that so?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Can you
but
hear
it's
me?
better. It's better now.
Okay.
It's not
Sorry.
breaking.
Let me see. So, if you want to appreciate a Shakespearean tragedy, what do you do? What are the key things that you look up for when you are reading the text? So, you guide the students to be able to do that so that you
Devices
understand
used.
the yes. So, what is the first thing you look at?
The analysis of a play.
Mm-hmm.
So you identify the key elements in a play,
Mm-hmm.
whether the play is a tragedy, a comedy, or whatever, and then so that the students will appreciate the work.
So, first of all, you must establish a play to be a comedy or a tragedy
Yes, sir.
or a tragic comedy. So, in this case, it's a tragedy. Then you explain to them what makes it a tragedy, the elements of tragedy. You focus on that one too, for them to understand the elements of tragedy. Then, particularly Shakespearean tragedy. We have mentioned all those things: the presence of good versus evil, the tragic flaw, the tragic waste. So even Othello, you get all these things there: the tragic waste, catharsis, lack of poetic justice, and then lack of comic relief. These are all part of what you do. Then you look at the title. Why is the title relevant? Uh, how does Shakespeare usually title his tragedies?
He does it using his tragic heroes' names.
So what do you call that?
It's eponymous.
Eponymous. Okay, he uses eponymous titles. So this one is very common to Aristotelian tragedies or the Greek tragedies too. They also fond of using the names of the hero as the titles of the plays. Yes. And then we identify the type of play. We have talked about the Shakespearean tragedy. Then from there, we look at other aspects of the play. Particularly, you can focus on the plot. You know the plot, and then you can look at the historical context of the play, if there is any historical context. You can also look at that. And we also look at the characters So not only characters, but characterization as well. So in treating the play, you must look at character and characterization. The character we are talking about, the character traits, the personal characters, whether it's a major character, minor, flat, round, or whatever. Then we talk about their role as well. So you discuss that thoroughly with the students. Then you look at the fact that in tragedy, Shakespearean tragedy, there is conflict. Take them through what you call conflict. It is usually described as what you call the what you call what do you call the tension between two opposing forces. Generally, it is between two opposing forces. Either it is humans or humans against the spiritual. Then we talk about external and the internal conflict. Then from there you move to look at the themes used in the play. Yes, so from the themes, you can talk about the devices, dramatic devices. We have introduced ourselves to a lot of them. We have talked about foreshadowing, symbolism, allusion, metaphor, the rest. A lot of dramatic irony is also part of that. We are also looking at the plots. You can also look at that as well. Then what is? Now, the plot contains the exposition, the climax, and then the resolution. You take them through all these stages of the plot for them to understand it well. Yes. What forms the exposition? What forms the climax? What forms the resolution? The student must know this one too. Yeah. Then gradually you look at other aspects of the story, including the use of symbols, the use of allusions, and other figures of speech to help to advance the plot. All these contribute to the theme, including the settings and all that. They are all relevant and contribute much. Also, draw the attention to the language used by Shakespeare. The fact that it is a Middle English that he uses, and then he is also fond of using both verse and prose in his plays. He mixes both prose and verse. Traditionally, he makes the important character to speak in verse, and then less important characters will speak in prose. Because prose is seen as the language of the ordinary people. That is the perspective of Shakespeare. Yeah. So I think that is the end of the unit 4. And we still have unit 5 and 6 next week. Any questions before we go?
So when are you coming to Ghana?
Yes, sir. This is Kofi. I want to find out. One has to appreciate the drama. Or you have to write something about the drama. If you are quoting, if you are naming the writer, that is the Shakespeare. Shakespeare Otoli. will you underline it or you will not underline it? And then we're also told to write it in only present tense. Is it only present tense or you miss it? Thank you.
Okay. Can anybody give a response? Can I come in? So it is the case that every book, including plays, including novels, we always underline them. Anytime we write them, Anytime you write them, you underline. If you are typing, you can do italics. You can italize it. But if you are using handwriting, you need to underline the titles of plays and novels. Always, you must always underline them. If it appears 20 times, you must underline them 20 times. But if you are typing, you can decide not to underline, but you italize the title. Now, when it comes to the tense used to answer the question or to respond to the question, there is no way you can write without, at a point, shifting to the past or the whatever. The tense depends on the context of what you want to say. Yes, if you are making reference to what goes on in the play, then you use the present tense. So, for example, Igo deceives, are you getting it? Emilia, not deceived. Are you getting that? So if you say Igo deceives Emilia to do this and that, not Igo deceived. It is assumed that the play is still live, or it is a living thing. It is occurring. It is live. It is not dead. It is not something that has passed. Because at any moment, the play can be performed by any group of people. So we don't consider a play as a historical part. So we don't do that. We don't write references from the text by using the past tense. Depending on the way you are narrating or you are describing or discussing, the tense may shift based on the whatever you want to see. That will bring in maybe the past tense, but generally we use the present tense to refer to any action that goes on in the play. Right, your hand is up again. Daniel. God bless. I've answered your question. Oh.
Sir, mine is not answered. I'm here to
Hello.
ask.
Okay, you ask.
Okay, sir, thank you very much for the lectures today. Mine is just a little submission that I want to chip in. Concerning the course that we are doing, I think it's just 1 month that we are using for each block. But looking at the content of what we are learning, I think it's very, very voluminous. So much. We are doing about 4 courses in just 1 block within a month. Some of the courses we read as much as 4 books. Specifically, I'm doing P major, English minor, and putting P and English courses together. It's like we are reading about 8 to 10 books before other courses. So we would like to plead with you or put it before you if something could be done about it. Maybe the content can be reduced a little for us to at least have some time to be able to learn very well. We know it is good we read all the books to acquire more knowledge, but the content of what we are reading, I think, is too much for us. And then concerning the exams, I'm talking from what happened in the last block or last trimester. It's like we are not giving specific areas. Maybe quiz 1, we have to learn from unit 1 to 3. You just allow us to learn all things for unit quiz 1. Quiz 2, we are not giving any specific unit to learn. We just have to learn everything. Indeed, it is giving us great headache. So I will plead with you if something could be done about it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I think the first one is a
Hello, Doc.
technical. Let me answer him first.
Okay.
The first one is technical. The reason being that the certificate that is given for you when you complete has no distinction between which one is higher than the other. If you bring it to those who are doing the program in sandwich, those who are doing it in distance, those who are doing it in switch, those who are doing it in regular. So based on the standards set by Ghana Tertiary Education Commission, the university cannot, if they even have, they will not say it because they will now not get accreditation. Because if you tell them that for the switch people, you reduce the content, you reduce whatever they are learning, but you give the same certificate, they will accredit the course. So the fact is that they will not tell you to leave some of the content that is learned for the same certificate given to other people. So they will still maintain that the content is intact. You go through it. But the second part of what you said is the most important thing. When all the coordinators, we call them the coordinators, those who are in charge of the courses, the coordinators must agree that at the end of the session, because of the tightness of the whole program, they may give you areas that you concentrate on for the exams. That one I agree perfectly. But for them to tell you plainly, for it to even get to GTech, that for switch, they have asked them to reduce, they have taken a number of topics from their course outline. That means that they will not get accreditation again for the course. So that's why they are very careful, because as soon as they tell you, oh, you also go around and be telling some people, oh, hey, topics, they have removed some of the topics. Oh, we are doing only 3 books. Are you getting it? This is the secret I'm telling you. This is the secret. Because they said there is no distinction in the certificate. The certificate is the same. And the content they send to GTech for approval, it must be implemented aside. If they decide to vary it, GTech will draw the accreditation, you complete, and your certificate will not be accepted. And so that is the secret about it. So some of the lecturers are very understandable. They will try and tell even that, though you read this number of topics, this is where I'm going to set my questions from. And that one will save you. So I know Dr. Aniaji, the one who is in charge of this course, he is very flexible. And before you write the quiz, you will bring the areas. Before you write the exams, you will bring the areas. And he doesn't, because last year he attempted to remove some part of it. And he heard that some students were telling others that for this course, the lecturer have removed this, but why is it that the others are not removing? So this time he has decided to remain silent, that we should do everything. So at the end of the day, he will decide the areas that you concentrate for the exams. Thank you very much. Any question? Any other questions?
Thank you. We are really
Okay.
enjoying the
Hello,
lecture.
Doc.
We are
Yes.
learning.
Hello, Doc.
Yeah, I'm listening.
Yeah. Concerning the question about us, as to where to underline and writing the answers in the present tense. Yeah, your explanation, I got it about the present tense. But where you said we should underline, I didn't get it. If you could please repeat it.
I'm saying that anytime you write a title of a book in writing, in your handwriting,
Yeah.
a title of a book, either a play or let's say a drama, that's it, and then a novel, you must always underline it. Because when you are writing, you cannot italize, because some people's writing is even italic. Are you getting it? So anytime you write the title of a book, which includes play and novels, you must underline it. But if it is a poem, a title of a poem, then you put it into inverted commas. But plays must always be, titles of plays must always be underlined, except when you are typing, you are using the word processor to type, then you can italize the title. You can italize the title, or you can have even the option of underlining the title without italicing it. So that is the convention. And this is part of research methods, APA system, and those things that we do. And it is part of the whole thing. If you write names of books and titles, you must always underline them if you are using handwriting. I think you understand it now. Okay. Any other question?
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Sir, for a title like Othello, you see, you may using it throughout when you are writing, depending on the question. So, are you going to underline it everywhere or anytime that you write? Because the name is the title itself.
No, the title is different from the name. So if you make reference to Othello as a character, you don't underline it. But you make a reference to Othello as the title of the play, you must underline it if it comes 10 times.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. So if you say that in Shakespeare's Othello, it is the title you are talking about. His character, you can say in Shakespeare's Othello, the hero is Othello. Are you getting it?
So the first Othello, you underline it.
The second one is the character's name.
Okay.
The character's name we don't underline, but the character's title.
Yes.
We underline.
Title.
Okay. He uses a eponymous title. So the eponymous title is the name of the main character. So are you okay? So that is it.
Yes.
We are really enjoying the studies, except that it needs time, and the time is short for us. But understanding is there, but we can't get time to grab. Yeah, it's not easy.
Sir, can they add some time or maybe some months to what they are using right now? Maybe 3 months or 2 months. Then they share it across board. That is from first semester to the third one. Can they do something like that? Because in fact, the time is too short for us.
The time there is too short.
Short.
You know this
so
thing.
Maybe they can do something.
And then you tell your NAT people. NAT people work this one out with UCC. So the program is being handled by NAT, GES, and then UCC. So they suggested the 1 year thing.
Because they have told us.
They felt that if it goes beyond 1 year, he may not get the people because the person has already done 3 years or so for his degree.
That one is true.
And you say that the person should come and do the person should come and do another 3 years, 1 year or 1.5 years. It will say that then it is a cheating or something.
It's a waste of time.
So they say okay, then they say 1 year, 3 semester program. That's all. And then
it seems like they've been designed for brainy people. If you're not that intelligent, you can't grab much.
They have done that because you have your degree, so you are already a degree holder. So they know that the way you learn is different from somebody who is coming from diploma to do degree. But it is too tight, and I felt the courses were so many, but it is the it is the accreditation. So GTEC2 has a standard.
So, sir.
Yeah.
So we understand everything you're teaching us, but the fact is we need time to capture it well.
Exactly. But sometimes don't worry yourself. Just pass and go. Whatever you learn, you know, you even understand the things you are doing when you finish your exams. You get a better understanding of it when you finish the exams.
That one there is true.
That is how it is. It happens to everybody, not only you.
Please, sir, I want to say this.
You can say it. Somebody is talking.
Sir, his line has cut.
Oh. Yeah, I think next week I'm off. I'm out of.
Sir, please, I want to say this. There are some of us who are doing.
I'm out of the country. I will be returning in May. So next week I will still do online with you. If I had somebody to come and interact with you face to face, I will wish that I will get the person to come. But it appears anybody you tell to come and engage is somehow not comfortable handling the course. So I'll still have to do an online.
Okay.
I'll still have to do
an online. No problem.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Please, I want to know more about poetic justice, because what I've written here was good rewarded bad, and bad rewarded good. But Madam was making a references, and it was good rewarded good and bad rewarded in bad. So I want you to clarify it for me, please. Poetry justice.
So when you say there is poetic justice,
poetic, not poetry, poetic.
Poetic.
It means that the judgment has been served fairly. Whoever does wrong is rewarded with something which is corresponding to wrongdoing. Whoever does good at the end gets reward for his good deeds. That means a good reward. That is what you call poetic justice. So, for example, if you are a wicked character, like mystic mysterious, we don't expect that at the end of the story you survive. When Kojo Ansan, who is a good character, rather dies. In that case, there was no poetic justice. So if there's poetic justice, mystic materials should have also died, as we also saw that there is a Kojo Ansan also dying, so that we know that it has been balanced. So we say that in Shakespearean tragedies, there is lack of poetic justice. Are you getting it?
Yes, so please, sir.
With all the bad things or the deeds that Iago does in the play, in the end, we didn't hear him die. We didn't hear him actually suffer that harsh consequences as Othello and the rest experience. And that we say that Shakespeare's tragedy Othello lacks poetic justice.
Okay, sir. Yes, please, sir. Thank you.
Yes, that's how it is.
Say some stories like this. Now, when you finish reading, and I'll be a fool, you'll be angry. Yeah.
Sir, hello.
You'll be angry.
So because there's no poetic justice. Yes, yes, sir.
Please have lesson after this. Maybe after by I didn't take lesson. So if we can draw attention to these lessons today.
Yes, I'm done. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We are grateful.